You're catching up with an old friend. You say, I don't think people should be fired just for a single mistake, especially if they own it and learn from it. And they shoot back. So you think there should be no consequences for anything? Just let people do whatever they want? Now you're cornered. You weren't talking about zero consequences. You weren't defending recklessness. But somehow the conversation has jumped the rails, and you're stuck defending something you never said. This is I Should Have Said, a podcast about the moments that leave you stuck, spiraling, or speechless. We unpack what really happened. We name the move, and we give you the language to stay grounded the next time it shows up. Today's episode, the Squirrel Case, when the argument gets hijacked by nonsense and takes you with it. The term comes from competitive debate. In parliamentary rounds, a squirrel case is when a team interprets the topic in a wild, unexpected way. Resolution: this House would end capital punishment. Squirrel case: we argue that time is the real punishment, and we should end the prison industrial complex's control over temporality. It's meant to confuse, to throw the opponent off, to win, not through strength of argument, but by disorienting the field. In real life, people do the same thing. You say, I'm not sure this policy is working. They say, oh, so you think there should be no rules at all? You say, this seems unfair. They say, well, I guess we should just cancel everything then. They're not engaging with your point. They're building a bizarre alternate version of it and forcing you to respond. We call it a squirrel case because it's like throwing a squirrel into a room full of people. Everyone stops what they're doing. Everyone chases it. No one's talking about what matters anymore. And that's the point. This isn't just annoying, it's manipulative. Because now you're the one explaining yourself. You're the one who looks defensive. And they never had to respond to what you actually said. Historically, this kind of rhetorical sleight of hand goes way back. The ancient sophists were famous for this, using clever arguments, not to find truth, but to win applause. Socrates hated that. He believed that a good conversation should clarify, not distort. So when people tried to box him in with trick questions or weird hypotheticals, he wouldn't take the bait. He'd ask his own questions. He'd take apart the framing, because people don't like it when you refuse the game. In modern logic, this overlaps with category errors, false equivalence, and bad faith reframing. The squirrel case is a cousin to all of them. It's not always intentional, but it's always disruptive. And the people who do it often know what they're doing. So what do you do when it happens? First, you don't chase the squirrel. Don't engage with the absurd version of your point. Don't let them reframe you into absurdity. Say, that's not what I said. That's an extreme version of my point, and I don't accept that framing. Let's stay with what I actually meant. You're not avoiding the argument, you are protecting the argument. Second, name what they're doing. That sounds like a distraction. You are twisting what I said into something I didn't mean. If the other person is acting in good faith, this regrounds the conversation. If they're not, you've made the tactic visible and less effective. And third, trust your clarity. You don't have to respond to absurdity just because it's loud. You don't have to defend someone else's misquote of your thoughts. You are allowed to say, that's not the conversation I'm having. That's not my claim, and I'm not following you there. Because sometimes the best response to a squirrel is to not chase it. This is I should have said, where we name the tricks that twist your words, where we stay with the real issue, and where we don't confuse cleverness with clarity. So the next time someone builds a bizarre version of your point and demands you explain it, just remember, you're not obligated to argue with a squirrel. You're allowed to keep your voice where it belongs.